What is going on, everybody? Davin here, always helping you play creatively. Today I'm going to give you some tips that will help beginners play more pro ideas. So if you're new to the piano and you're wondering, man, how do I stop sounding so basic? This lesson is for you. Here we go. The first thing that I notice with a lot of beginners in regards to contemporary music is that they are not thinking through the rhythm and they're not thinking through pattern and groove. So those are two words you need to remember. What's my pattern? What's my groove? What's the groove here? Let's take an example of a couple of chords. We're going to play this progression here. A C major to a G. Actually, we're just going to leave it at that. C major to G. And let's say the song you're playing for 4 beats, right? So I notice some piano players may do that. Actually, I think that's not bad at all. Even though it's simple, it's clear. And that's a very good thing to remember. Am I playing something that's clear? But oftentimes I might hear something like this. And I can't tell where the groove is on something like that. So here's a much clearer pattern for you. Now, what is something else that I can do to make that groove more clear? I can think through the different accents of the beat. So this is what I mean. Now, what am I doing there? I'm accenting the 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But you know what I'm doing with my left hand? I'm actually playing the ands of the beat. So 1, 2, a 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And I'm actually doing that with the top note in my left hand here. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. All right? I'm beginning to think through my pattern. I'm beginning to think through my groove. There's some other things that I would think through in the pattern and the groove area. Like maybe I don't accent all of the beats. So I don't accent beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. I might accent 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? But I'm beginning to think about the rhythm. I'm beginning to think about the groove. And those are just some things you can begin to think about. Another thing I begin to think about that will take you from really sounding like a beginner to a pro would be your chord inversions. Many people skip this. And there are a couple of things you can think about. Think about what is the melody. That's a big one. And so I don't want to say which song I'm thinking about here, but let's say the melody is all right, some of you may know that song. My chords are going to follow the melody here. Watch. Okay. So they just happen to be chords that are in root position. But what if my melody was something like this? Now watch my chords follow that. I base my chord off of wherever the melody is, and I try to keep the melody on top, all right? That's a really good rule to follow regarding inversions. Here's another rule, and I did it just now if you were paying attention. I like to play sus chords instead of major chords, or whenever I see a major chord, I ask myself, can I play a sus chord first before resolving it to the major chord? So instead of playing this, I might play something like this. Now, what am I doing there, okay? Instead of playing C major, I'm playing C sus2. All right? And so that's a really basic substitution, is just replacing your third with the second, okay? And I'm doing the same thing when I play the G major chord. Instead of playing G major like this, I'm playing G major first inversion, and the only thing I'm doing is moving this G up here. And then the next thing I'm doing here is I'm playing a G sus like that. And so this is G sus2. I'm replacing the third with the second, okay? So. All right, here's something else you can do. You can actually replace the third with the fourth. It'll go something like this. So instead of replacing it with the second, I replace it with the fourth, and then I resolve to the third. All right. So some simple ideas that you can begin to transform your playing. Another thing that one of my favorites, and this is really good, especially if you are a singer and you're playing much more complex songs, is a lot of times I can get away with just changing my bass notes. So let's take a little bit more complicated progression. Let's probably do like an E minor to C, G to D, okay? Now, all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna play this G sus2 up top here, and the only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the bass notes in my left hand. Here we go. Man, that's one of my favorite things, and that's definitely going to begin to transform your playing. And let's talk about why that's so different. Really, it's giving you some more complex chords, okay? So here, instead of, even though it's an E minor chord, right? This is really an E minor chord where you're omitting the 5 and you're playing the 11. That's a real complex chord, but a simple way to play it, all right? Instead of playing a regular C major here, we're really playing a C major, we're omitting the third, and we're playing a sixth. And we have a 9 up top here, okay? Instead of a basic C major chord. When we play the G chord, we're playing a G sus2 or a G with an added 9. And then when we're playing the D chord, we have here a D sus4, all right? Or you can think of this as just a D with an added 11, all right? Omitting the 3. However you want to look at it, but it's giving you some more complex chords. And so I think that's a good way to get to playing more complex chords without having to think too much about it. It's just changing your bass notes and making your top chord in your right hand a sus chord of some kind. So those are some elements that I think will help transform your playing, take you from sounding completely basic to just leveling up your playing a notch. Hey, if you want to learn more about ideas like this, these ideas are certainly great for worship, music, contemporary songs. I certainly recommend you check out our resources in the description below. We actually have a free membership where you can check out other courses that we offer. But until next time, keep watching, keep learning, and we'll all keep growing together. I'll see you guys next week.